Welcome back, class. This is your Catia mentor, and in this video I'm going to show you how to create a sphere using surfacing. Then we'll turn it into a solid, and on that solid we'll create a groove, a swirl for a groove, and we'll rotate, and we'll use a ball bearing to follow the path of the swirl. So as the ball bearing reaches the end, it's going to go ahead and fly off into space, as you can see. Alright, so let's get started. I'm going to hit cancel, and let's go ahead and start with generative wireframe and surface. Start with the new part. So I'm going to go ahead and insert a geometric set. That's where we're going to place our wireframe, surfaces, points, lines, splines, etc. Alright, so let's go ahead and start with the point at XYZ coordinates 0, 0, 0, and let's give this some color. We'll make the solid points yellow so it stands out, and the wireframe as cyan. Okay, so I'm going to start by creating a sphere at that point. And for those of you that are not familiar with the sphere command, it starts you off with a partial sphere, and you can use the grips to change the angle or to change the radius. You can input the numbers manually or use the grips. In our case, we're going with a full sphere, and we'll go with 12 inches and OK. Let me zoom out. Let's give this a color, something pleasing to the eye, like a light green, soft light green color. Alright, there we go. Okay, next step is to create, go to wireframe, let's create a spiral, and we'll do it on the XY plane, and we'll use our point as our center point, and for reference direction on the plane we're going to use the y-axis. So I'm going to right click, go with the y-axis, and I'll go with a 13 inch starting radius, and our ending radius I'll go with 1 inch, and we'll go with 7 revolutions. And you'll see this is slightly larger than the radius of the sphere, which is 12. And OK. Okay, next step is to extrude. So let's go to surface, and we're going to extrude that spiral in the Z direction. So let's right click, Z. We'll go mirrored, and there we have it. And OK. Maybe a little bit more. There it is. Okay, now let's go ahead and hide the spiral, and then we're going to intersect the sphere with the extrude. So let's go ahead and intersect the sphere with the extrude. Okay, let's go ahead and hide the extrude, and that's close to what we want, not exactly what we were looking for in this area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop the bottom half. So let's create a plane offset from the XY, and we'll go with a 2-inch offset, and we're going to keep the top portion of this new spiral. So I'm going to select it, I'm going to split it with the new plane. So it's going to keep the top portion, and OK, there it is. Okay, next step is to rotate this 180. So let's go ahead and rotate the result of the spiral about the Y, I think it is, the Y-axis. And we're going to go with increments of 5 degrees. Let's go at 5 degrees and start rotating about the Y until we get to 180. And there we have it. Okay, and let's go ahead and close this off with a spline. Okay, so it's an incomplete spiral. So let's go ahead and connect it with a spline. So we'll go from point, pick this lower spiral as your tangency or support, and pick the next point and pick the spiral. Notice how it flipped on us. You can flip it from here, or you can click the arrow to get the right result. There it is. Now currently the spline is not laying on the sphere, so we're going to go with geometric or geometry on support and select the sphere. Now you can see the spline is on the sphere. Let's improve this by going from tangent continuity to curvature continuity. Should be a lot smoother looking, and OK. Alright, so now we're going to join the top spiral, the lower spiral with the spline. So let's join the top spiral, the spline, and the lower spiral. Oh, forgot to hit join. Do it again, join. Okay, so we got the lower spline and upper spiral, and OK. Alright, so let's go ahead now and create a sweep around this spiral. So let's go with sweep, go with circular sweep, center and radius. Let's pick the spiral, and let's try 1 inch, see what it looks like. Oh, I misclicked. Let's do it again. Center and radius. There it is. We have the spiral and the 1 inch radius, and preview. And it's overlapping on itself, so let's drop it down a bit. Let's go to 0.75. Preview. Okay, that's a lot better. And hit OK. And there we have it. Alright, so now we got to close off the end of the sweep, but first I want to show you the sweep all the way around down to the bottom. Alright, so okay, we need to close this off. So I'm going to close it off. First I need some supporting geometry. Let's go ahead and fill this circle. Fill it. And then I'm going to intersect it with the spiral. So let's intersect that fill with the spiral so I can find the center point. Oh, no solution. So I guess that point is right on the... I'm not sure if this endpoint is right at the center of the circle, so let me cancel that out. Let me temporarily hide the spiral. Okay, so I'm going to put a point at the center of the circle. So let's go with point on circle. Pick the circle, and there's the point. And let's create a sphere at that point. Of 0.75 radius, just like the sweep. And preview. There it is. And now I'm going to split this sphere with the edge, the circular edge of the sweep. So let's go ahead and split the sphere with the circular edge. There it is, and OK. Do the same thing at the bottom. So let's find the center of the circle. My mistake. Double click on the point, go with center for circle, and OK. There it is, and let's go ahead and create a sphere. Surface, sphere. We have center, 0.75 radius, and OK. Now we're going to chop it, take the sphere, and let's split it with the circular edge of the sweep. And OK. Alright, so next thing is to join the two hemispheres. Join lower sphere with the swirl and the upper hemisphere. And OK. There we have it. Okay, so now we're going to go into part design. So I'm going to right click on part body, define, because we're going to create a solid. Let's go into part design. So by defining the part body, anything that we create that's new will drop into this part of the tree. Okay, so let's create a solid from the sphere. And OK. And there's the solid. Let's hide the sphere, the surface, hide it, and let's it's in the background now, as you can see. There it is in green. There's the sphere, and this is a solid. Okay, so now we're going to take that solid and we're going to split it with our swirl, with the swirl sweep. So let's go ahead and split. There it is, split with the swirl, and OK. And let's hide the swirl sweep, and there's our split. Now if we were to go back to split and hit the arrows, it'll flip the solid. It'll give us the opposite, as you can see. So it looks like we're peeling an orange. That looks pretty cool too, right? That's not what we want, so let's double click, flip the arrows, and hit OK. Alright, so now we can go ahead and turn the spiral back on. Actually, let's see. I want to make sure I get the correct spiral. It's the join. Yes. And let's show it. Okay, and we're going to put a point on that spiral that we can manipulate. So let's go into Geoset, right click define. So any new geometry we create goes into this portion of the tree. So let's create a point on the spiral. And it's not a circle, so we need to tell it on a curve. And let's give it a length of, let's start with 2 inches. Preview. It's probably at the bottom. Yep. Let's go ahead and flip this. There it is. So let's start with the 2-inch distance from the endpoint and hit OK. Okay, let me hide the spiral. Okay, so on this point we're going to create a sphere. So we are in geometric set, and we're going to go back to generative wireframe and surface. So we're going to create a sphere. It'll just be a surface, not a solid. Surface, sphere at that point, and OK. And let's give it a dark blue color. And double click on the point. And now let's go with increments of 2-inch increments. Okay. We can go back and reverse. Starting point. Whoa, went too far. There it is, 0. And now we can go ahead and swirl it around. If you want to go 1-inch increments, make it go slower, go for it. So here's a cool little project that you can impress your friends with, or maybe your co-workers, or your mom. Hey mom, look what I did. Okay, so let's watch this ball bearing follow its path, and as it reaches the bottom, its end is gonna, as you know, it's gonna fly out into space. It's almost like think of it as a slingshot. Alright, that's the end of that video, or this video. See you in the next one.